That is Alvin from Dr. Well. So we all know that the AI has been a very hot investment, and Nvidia is definitely the hottest stock in the whole universe. And the Nvidia stock just crossed $1,000 and almost hitting a $3 trillion market cap. So a lot of good things seems to be going on for Nvidia. But today I'm not going to talk about AI. Okay, today I'm going to share with you some other stocks that you might not know. You may know the brand names, but you definitely don't think of them as good investment. But somehow their returns have been fantastic, at least for the past 1 year. So the case in point here is Abercrombie and Fitch, which is a fashion brand, and the share price have gone up 500% over the past year. And compared to Nvidia, it's up 186%, which is already phenomenal. But we have Abercrombie and Fitch going up more than 500%. So what's going on, right? And Abercrombie and Fitch is not a brand that we straight away have a strong brand recall when it comes to clothing, right? There's so many brands out there. And what is going on is because they do deliver good results, right? The latest quarter year-on-year growth for its revenue was 32%, right? So given this kind of climate where people are talking about inflationary pressures and yet Abercrombie and Fitch could deliver this kind of results, and therefore the share price movement is justified because there is real fundamental improvement going on in the company. And how are they doing it differently from other brands is that they have gone more online, right? Because they realize that using influencers nowadays are very important. Going on TikTok, Instagram, getting influencers to share their brand, wear their brand, and that create more awareness and of course a lot more desired demand for this Abercrombie and Fitch brand. And that's also why the sales channel in terms of digital contribution to the revenue has been 60%, more than 50%, right? So that is, of course, there's still a good 40% sales in the stores. So it is considered omni-channel strategy, but definitely it is working, right? So other clothing brands, maybe they should take a leaf out of Abercrombie's and Fitch strategy and trying to get more influencers to promote their stuff and brands. But what is interesting is that it's not just that Abercrombie and Fitch, because there are other fashion brands that are less well known as well. Okay, well known enough, but not the super well known. Okay, not the first brand recall that we talk about. And so these brands have been around for quite a long time that people think that they are dead, but actually they are not. So, for example, Gap, right? Gap is a pretty mass market kind of clothing line in the US, and it's also up 157% from a year ago. American Eagle Outfitters is up 122%. Deckers, which owns the popular brand Hoka, the running shoes that have been a craze among runners, is up 118%. Dick's Sporting, which is a retailer of sporting goods, is up 77%, and GIII Apparel is up 71%. So it is not kind of individual Abercrombie and Fitch performance, but rather the entire apparel industry has been doing well. I guess it's also because we just came off the post-COVID, right? A few years, about 2 years ago, and gradually people started to go out more often, and they realized they, after staying in the house or lockdown for a year, it's time that we have to dress up. Right, a lot of maybe the clothes couldn't fit anymore due to over fisting during the lockdown period. That could be a reason why. And there's even more. There are even more like Levi's, or the jeans is also up 68%. Okay, most people would think that it's a dead brand, right? Not very popular with Gen Z or even Gen Y, but somehow the stock has also performed well. Ralph Lauren, also another brand that is around for a long time, but not the top of the mind kind of a brand recall for clothing, but it's up 68%. And On, which is the competitor to Hoka, and also have rise in popularity with that holes in their soles, design of the shoes, right? You probably have worn or even seen somebody wore it before. So it's up 56%. And therefore, it's a whole industry thing, right? But that's it, okay? Most people would not likely buy this kind of stocks, right? Because they are not market leaders. Even you talk about On, you talk about Hoka, they are challengers to say like Nike, Adidas, right? They are not the real brand recall. And if we really look at those, they are more well known. Like Nike is down 14% from a year ago, and even LVMH is down 13%. Lululemon, which is known for its very nice silky yoga wear, is down 11%. Under Armour is also not doing well, up just 0.6%. And Adidas, okay, at least is up 48% from a year ago. So overall, if you realize that a lot of all these well-known names, market leaders, if you have bought them, you have not done so well over the past year. But the stocks that are less well known, tier 2 or tier 3 kind of brands, they end up doing a lot better. So that goes why I think that using a momentum strategy would be able to pick out these kind of stocks. Okay, because a handful of these stocks I actually have entered before and using the momentum strategy. And if I use value or growth strategy, it's very unlikely I will buy these stocks because they're not market leaders, right? And they're not I'm not really sure they can be a market leader eventually and have that sustained growth over a long period of time. So to me, they are not meant for long-term investing. But for short-term trading using momentum strategy, it can be done, right? So the example is Abercrombie and Fitch again, right? So this is the stock that entered last month, end of last month, which was 30th April. In hindsight, it looks like a good move, right? Because I bought and then I'm up like almost 50% over a month. But at the point when I bought it, right, it was already up about 400% from a year ago. But I still buy it. Okay, so I didn't buy at a very low price. I went in late. A lot of people would say that, hey, it's already so high. Why you want to buy? But that is where the momentum principle come in, because when I did the ranking on the momentum, the rule says that I should buy Abercrombie and Fitch. And although it feels uncomfortable because it really looked high, right? And share price can come down anytime. But I just follow the rules, and I'm glad that it did well and the results was good, and there was a big bump up 20% yesterday. So you think about it, 1 month you get about 50% return, right? It's not shabby at all. And sometimes you hold a stock over 1 year or 2 years, you may not even have 50%, but 1 month have 50% is considered good, even though you never reap that 500% right from the start or from a year ago in Abercrombie and Fitch, right? But using momentum can help us fish out these kind of opportunities. And I just want to highlight a few more points, okay? Even in other industries, like in the cosmetic field, if you go by brand name, if you go by fundamental analysis, bottom up, using growth or value strategy, you would likely look at Estee Lauder, which is the market leader for cosmetics around the world. And yet, the share price is down 37% from a year ago. And if you bought ELF Beauty, which is up 75%, a competitor, a newcomer to this cosmetic field, cheaper prices, reasonable quality, very popular among the young ones, right? So you can see the difference in the performance as well, right? I'm not saying that Estee Lauder share price will not recover. It might, just that it would need a much longer holding period, right? But in the short term, if you want to make some money, it always makes more sense to use a momentum strategy rather than a growth or a value strategy. Likewise, for the fast food industry, we will straight away think of McDonald's, KFC, right? So McDonald's have a stock listed by its own name, and KFC will be under the Yum Brands stock name. And both have not really done very well. McDonald's is down 12% from a year ago, and Yum Brands is up just 5% from a year ago. But if you use momentum, you would have gone with Domino's Pizza, Wingstop. So actually still holding them based on the momentum principles. So that is how I managed to pick out the winners using momentum. And next is beverages and energy drinks. So Coca-Cola is the first thing that came to mind, right? Brand recall. Yet the share price is only up 3%. Pepsi is worse, down 6%. And the energy drink, Monster Monster Beverage used to be a top name, right? After Red Bull. Red Bull is not listed. Okay, so the top listed energy drink company is actually Monster Energy. And Monster Beverage is down 10%. Okay, and Coca-Cola have a stake in it. And on the other hand, Celsius, which is a newcomer, energy drink as well, is up 92%. So again, using momentum can help us fish out the winners more readily. So ultimately, I just wanted to give you a different perspective because I know that a lot of investors, they tend to buy stocks that are down, right, rather than they go up because intuitively it feels cheaper. And that's how we shop in real life. We want to buy when there's a discount. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Because typically, if you use a more long-term perspective using value or growth strategy, you do want the share price to be lower than what you value the stock for, right? So that is essentially the essence of these kind of strategies. But I just wanted to share another angle to look at things, especially if you are more into, I just want some quick gains, I just want some gains in the short term, be it the next few weeks or months. Then your approach will have to flip 180 degrees. Instead of buying stocks that are going down, you need to buy stocks that are going up because it's likely that they have the energy to move up some more in the short term. And that's what momentum principle is all about. So for those who are looking at more short term, definitely you must be comfortable buying stocks on the higher side rather than on the lower side. Because for this momentum stock, they always look expensive, right? And yet, they can go up more than what you think is possible, right? So for example, if somebody tell you that Abercrombie Fitch is a better stock to buy than Nvidia, it's very likely that you don't believe that person, right? Because AI is the hottest thing, and Abercrombie and Fitch is not even hugging the headlines, but Nvidia is almost in the headline every single day. So therefore, that availability bias can also affect how you choose a stock. But using momentum principle, then you're able to fish these kind of stocks that are really, really moving, and maybe even moving faster than what the stocks are on the headlines. And ultimately, I must warn you is that you also need a proper exit strategy, because buying stock is just one side of the story. Eventually, all momentum will die off. Stories will end. And therefore, the important thing is that you must know when to sell your stock. Okay, these are not stocks. When you buy a stock for momentum, it's not meant for long-term holding. Right, that is a point that you need to know when to sell. Be it the share price going below a support, right? It can be a moving average, it can be some support lines that you have managed to identify. Whatever it is, there must be an exit plan. Okay? If things turn the other way, you must get out and not hold all the way as the share price go down, right? So that will be very detrimental to your strategy or portfolio. Of course, if you really want to learn more, you can always join one of the Dr. Wells webinar to understand how these momentum strategies are being done. Hope to see you in one of those sessions, right? You can just sign up for the newsletter. The link is provided in the comment box. And when there is an event, you'll be notified as well. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.